Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Zoom Chats with Shelby and Catherine. So today, Catherine and I are going to be talking about meal planning. And we know that is the number one thing that we get asked about all the time as nutrition and fitness coaches. So this brief little synopsis today, this little video is going to, first of all, put your minds at rest and ease, because we're going to show you that meal planning is not this big, huge, formidable task. It's really just very basic. So I want to give you guys a brief illustration here to start out with. I want you guys to pretend that you have finally been able to realize your dream of your dream house. Okay? It's in the perfect location. You have all the money. You've been saving up for years. And now, finally, you meet with the contractor. And the contractor is world class. And he starts describing to you this house. And you're like, this is great. Where are the plans? And he says, oh, I got them all up here. Are you going to hire that contractor? Probably not. What you want to see is a man who comes in, or a woman who comes in, rolls out the plans for your house, has it all written down, and there it is. And really, that's the idea behind the word plan. It really means to write things out and have it visually available for you. Meal plans are great when they're written out, because not only does it help you see the direction of where you're going, it lets your family know what's coming as well. Oh, yes, and as my cat will attest, it's very important when she knows what flavor Friskies are for dinner on Wednesday night. So the first thing we want you guys to realize is that the importance of meal planning is that you've got to write down what you are going to be eating. So with that being said, how do you not get overwhelmed by looking at what has got to come up for the whole week? Well, we recommend starting with small changes. Small changes. So for example, planning first and foremost your water intake. As crazy as that sounds, some people don't have that planned out. So starting each night with a simple thing of filling up your 3 water bottles, or having a reminder set on your phone, that's step number 1 right there. It's a small little change that over time will be big. Here's another thing that you can do, a small little change. Start writing down what it is that your family eats on a regular basis, and then look from there and see what tweaks you can make. So for example, if you're on the to-be mindset and dinner consists of, meatloaf, potatoes, and green beans, why not take a look at that and say, okay, well, since I'm on that plan, I know for dinner I need it to be 25% protein and 75% veggies. So I'll have meatloaf with the family, but I'm going to trade out, for the potatoes, I'm going to have instead a salad. So, or turnip fries. Yes. So these are little changes that you can start making, that even if you make them small enough, your family will start to come on the ride with you. They may not notice that turnip fries are actually healthy vegetables. They might just be like, hey, this tastes good, and what happened to the potatoes? So anyway, taking a look at what you already eat and then making the small little tweaks can help you to be overwhelmed. Starting with small little things like that, and making sure that you have a written plan so that when you enter into the grocery store, you're able to get everything you need. Those are little things that can really start making big changes in your meal planning. So I'm going to turn it over now to Catherine. She has this really cool way that she does meal planning that I never really thought about, but I think especially for you moms and those of you on a budget, you'll really appreciate it. And then she'll go over the way that suckers like me like to meal plan. All right, so it's now over for you, Catherine. And make sure to unmute yourself.
All right. Hi. Sorry, I just moved, guys. I have contractors in my house, and they kept walking by, so I'm coming over here. So, 2 ways to meal plan. The first one, which most people I think do, is they kind of sit down on typically a Sunday. I like to do it either Saturday or Sunday morning at the latest. If you have a typical weekend off, right? If you're a nurse and you work weekends, it would be different for you. But and you can plan out a couple of meals. The first thing I suggest is making sure that you know your schedule for the week. Are you going to be out 2 nights of the week? Or are you going to be home every night of the week? So you can find a couple of recipes that you really want to use. And if you're doing To Be Mindset, make sure that they are To Be Mindset approved. If they're 21-day fix, that could be a whole nother thing here, because you'll have to make sure that your containers work out completely correctly. But you can, I like to put in my dinners first, and then make your grocery list from there. And then what I do is try to use those groceries to kind of make my lunch as well. So say, for example, you need to buy carrots and sweet potatoes, then see if you can use some of that for some of your lunch or so forth, just so you're not buying a million different things. What I like to do, which I would suggest doing even if you don't, what I like to do is just keeping a list. You probably can't see this, but at the beginning of the weekend, I go through my freezer and my fridge and I write down everything I have in there. So for example, right now I have bacon, 2 Italian chicken sausages, fish nuggets, veggie burgers, ground beef, grilled chicken strips. So I wrote down everything. I'm not going to use it all this week, but I just wrote down everything I have. And then from here, I try to plan my meals. So this week we just had 3 meals because we did 2 nights of leftovers. We had a lot of leftovers we were using last night. So I did a chicken and lime soup, chicken thighs and cauliflower salad, and a jalapeno popper chili. So those are my dinner, which I'm happy to share with anyone. It's a paleo OMG recipe. So I'm making those 3 things. And so then I made my grocery list from there of what I still needed. And then I also make a meal prep list of everything I have to do to meal prep. So everything from defrost chicken for the 2 nights, defrost the beef, make the soup, make sweet potatoes, make the cauli salad dressing, wash and chop vegetables. I was making muffins for snacks. I was making mini quiches for snacks or breakfast for my kids. And then I also was making cookies for them. So I put down all my meal prep that I had to do for the week as well. And then yesterday I sat down after I'd gone grocery shopping and came home. I washed all my fruits and vegetables that I could, and I started my meal prep. I didn't get through all of it, but I got through a good amount of it.
Can I step in? What I love about your plan, Catherine, is that by putting everything down, there's something inside of us that loves to check off to-do lists.
Yes. And I sometimes write down and I sometimes don't, but then I forget things and I'm chopping the vegetables and I forget that I have to chop another vegetable. So it's 2 times more work when I have to put everything away and then I take something out and I have to do it.
Now, what do you say to people who say, well, that seems like it takes so much work? Have you found that doing it this way saves you time?
Yeah, for me personally, spending a couple of hours on Sunday doing it is a lifesaver for the week. So you might find in the summer I didn't do this. We ate out a lot more, and I did not eat as healthy because of that. But for me, it definitely helps. I'm going back to work full time. I'm super stressed. So as much I can get done on Sunday, and granted, you have to figure out your situation. For me, I put a show on my iPad, and it's literally the only time around now that I ever watch TV because I never have a minute. So I put that on and I just did my meal prep, and it was definitely helpful. So it is a sacrifice on your weekends. But again, for me, it's super helpful. A few other things that I like to do is if you are making dinner during the week, if you're taking out vegetables to chop, if you have an extra 5 minutes, chop other vegetables for the rest of the week. If you haven't to do that. my plan for this year is to try to double almost everything that I can. Because if I'm making one meatloaf, the fixate meatloaf is really good. I might as well make two and freeze one of them. Same thing with like meatballs or something like that.
For those of you who are watching this, write that down. That is so huge. Your freezer when you're meal planning is your best friend.
Yeah. So, and I don't always do that, but it's just something when I do, it's so worth it. And it just helps me a lot when I can do that. So that's something I'm going to try to do as much as possible this year. Everything from muffins, and I freeze as much as I can because it just is super helpful.
Yeah.
And so so that's kind of how I do it. I like to kind of work from what I have and then go and make my meals from there. One thing I didn't talk about, which might be too much for you right now, this might seem overwhelming, but just in the future, or you could start it, is a while ago, I started it's just an Excel sheet on my computer. And I wrote down like ground beef and any of the recipes I love, like my go-to ground beef recipes, I just put them on a little list on that Excel, and I have it for like ground beef, chicken breast, chicken thighs, so that like if I have ground beef in my freezer, I'm not just like, oh, I want burgers every single time. Like I'm like, oh, I could make the simple stir fry from Paleo MG. I could make a meatloaf. I could make the jalapeno. Well, that one takes chicken and beef. But anyways, I can look there. So that helps me out a lot. And one big thing when you're looking for recipes, the Beachbody blog has a lot. If you have Beachbody on demand, you have Fixate, which has amazing recipes. If you have To Be Mindset, that comes with recipes. I love paleo recipes because they just don't have processed foods in them. They are clean. They are usually like the only carbs they really use are simple, like are good carbs, like sweet potatoes, and you're not dealing with like white starches and things like that you probably, or that aren't FFCs, that aren't good carbs. Mm-hmm. So even if you're not paleo, I'm not fully paleo, but I just love looking there for recipes because I know that they're going to be healthy.
Yeah, finding some good sites. So this week I will be posting for you guys several good meal planning what do you call them, like reference sheets and things like that, so that you'll have these at your disposal and you can download them onto your computer or onto your phone. And also too, I'm going to be helping out you guys with anything that has to do with meal planning. This week is going to be covered in my posts. So guys, just remember, keep it simple. If you have the same thing every Monday night, same thing every Tuesday night, same thing every Wednesday night, that's okay. McDonald's has had the quarter pounder with cheese for over 40 years. They're still in business, right? So if your family has veggie meatloaf or veggie filled meatloaf every Thursday night, they won't die. We promise.
I think especially when you're trying to start this process, it's really important to be as simple as you can and repeat recipes. If you find a good one, like a good veggie filled meatloaf, have it you don't have to have it forever on Mondays, but if for the next 4 weeks, that's your Monday recipe. If for Tuesdays, it's healthy tacos, like just find some recipes you like and just use them as you get started with this until you feel comfortable, and then you start to branch out. But if you're trying to come up with 5 new recipes every single week, it's going to be exhausting and you're probably going to want to quit and go back to pizza or something else. So yeah, I think especially at the beginning.
Good idea. All right, guys. So we hope that this helped you. And we hope that you're able to really have success with your meal planning this week. And we will see you guys for our last and final Zoom of this challenge group. I forget what we're covering. Do you remember? Anyway, we'll post it when it comes out next week. Yeah. Peace and blessings, guys.
Bye.